The Galactic Council's central chamber buzzed with anticipation. Thousands of delegates from across the known universe filled the tiered seating of the massive amphitheater, their murmurs creating a constant hum that reverberated through the space station's halls. The annual Intergalactic Science Summit was the most prestigious gathering of scientific minds in the galaxy, and this year promised to be particularly eventful. Dr. Sarah Bennett stood at the edge of the stage, reviewing her notes one final time. Her hands trembled slightly, betraying the nerves she worked so hard to conceal. As Earth's leading expert on faster-than-light travel technology, she carried the weight of humanity's reputation on her shoulders. This would be the first time a human presented groundbreaking research at the summit. And Sarah was acutely aware of the skeptical eyes watching her every move. "Don't let them intimidate you," Dr. Marcus Reed whispered, appearing at her side. Her colleague and friend had been her rock throughout this journey, his diplomatic experience proving invaluable in navigating the complex politics of the Galactic Council. "Remember, we earned our place here." Sarah nodded, straightening her shoulders. "It's not intimidation, Marcus. It's the knowledge that what I'm about to present will upend centuries of established scientific doctrine. The Thalka won't take kindly to having their monopoly challenged." As if summoned by her words, a tall, slender figure glided toward them. Ambassador Lyra of the Thalka moved with the effortless grace that characterized her species. Her silver-blue skin shimmered under the chamber's lights, and her four-fingered hands remained clasped in what most species recognized as a gesture of superiority. The Thalka had dominated the field of space travel technology for millennia, their advancements allowing them to build the most formidable military fleet in the galaxy. "Dr. Bennett." Lyra's voice was melodious, yet cold. "I understand you're presenting today. How? Ambitious of Earth to believe it has something to contribute to a field the Thalka mastered before your ancestors discovered fire." Sarah met the ambassador's gaze without flinching. "Innovation often comes from unexpected places, Ambassador. Perhaps that's why the Thalka haven't made significant advancements in FTL technology in the past century." A flicker of annoyance crossed Lyra's features before she composed herself. "We shall see. The Council has indulged many species with fantastical claims over the years. It provides entertainment, if nothing else." Before Sarah could respond, the chamber lights dimmed, and the moderator, a gelatinous being from the Mu Collective, floated to the center of the stage. "Esteemed delegates of the Galactic Council, we welcome you to the 457th Annual Intergalactic Science Summit. Today's first presentation comes from Earth, a relatively new member of our community. Please welcome Dr. Sarah Bennett, presenting her research on quantum resonance as an alternative approach to FTL travel." A polite smattering of applause filled the chamber as Sarah walked confidently to the podium. She activated her holographic display, and the air above the stage erupted with complex equations and three-dimensional models. Distinguished delegates, for centuries, faster-than-light travel has relied on the same fundamental principles, creating artificial wormholes through space-time using massive energy expenditures. The Thalka's advancements in this field have been commendable, but the approach has reached its theoretical limits. Sarah paused, noting Ambassador Lyra's narrowed eyes from the front row. "What I present today is not an incremental improvement, but a paradigm shift. By exploiting quantum resonance at the subatomic level, we've discovered a method to harmonize with the fabric of space-time itself, allowing ships to essentially sing their way through the universe." Murmurs rippled through the audience as Sarah displayed the results of Earth's first experimental voyages using the new technology. The data showed travel times reduced by factors of hundreds, with energy consumption at a fraction of conventional methods. As you can see, our prototype vessel achieved transit between Earth and Alpha Centauri in under 14 minutes, without the creation of a traditional wormhole or the associated spatial distortions. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices. Many delegates stood, their appendages gesturing wildly as they debated among themselves. The MOO moderator bobbed anxiously, attempting to restore order. Ambassador Lyra rose slowly from her seat, her voice cutting through the chaos. "The Council recognizes Ambassador Lyra of the Thalca," the moderator announced. And the chamber fell silent. "Dr. Bennett," Lyra began, her voice dripping with condescension. "Your presentation is impressive for a human. However, your fundamental assertions violate at least 7 established laws of physics. What you propose is not merely unlikely, it is impossible." Sarah smiled, having anticipated this response. "With respect, Ambassador, I thought the same until we achieved it. Perhaps what we consider laws are merely guidelines we haven't fully understood." Lyra's posture stiffened. "You expect the Council to believe that humans, who only achieved rudimentary space travel 3 centuries ago, have somehow leapfrogged species with millennia of experience? I don't expect belief based on our species," Sarah countered, "but on the evidence. The data speaks for itself. Data can be manipulated." Lyra snapped. "The Thalca have monitored all FTL activity in this sector for centuries. We detected no such breakthrough." Sarah's smile widened slightly. "That's because your detection systems rely on the very principles we've circumvented. Your instruments wouldn't register our method any more than ancient radar could detect stealth aircraft." A ripple of appreciative murmurs spread through the chamber. Several delegates nodded thoughtfully, and Sarah could sense the shift in the room. For the first time, humanity was being taken seriously in a domain the Thalca had dominated unchallenged. Lyra ascended the steps to the stage, moving with deliberate slowness. "The Thalca have guided lesser species through the stars out of benevolence. We have shared our knowledge, selectively, yes, but always to maintain galactic stability. What you propose would destabilize centuries of carefully calibrated power balances. Power balances that have consistently favored the Thalca," Sarah noted. "Perhaps it's time for a more equitable distribution of technological capability." The ambassador's eyes flashed dangerously. "You speak of equality when your species has barely outgrown planetary warfare? Humans would weaponize this technology within a generation, as opposed to the Thalca, who maintain the galaxy's largest battle fleet purely for scientific research." Sarah's sarcasm drew chuckles from several delegates. Lyra moved closer, lowering her voice. "Withdraw your claims, Dr. Bennett. Claim experimental error. The Thalca could offer Earth significant technological concessions in other areas." "Are you attempting to bribe me, Ambassador?" Sarah asked loudly enough for nearby delegates to hear. "That suggests you believe our discovery is genuine. I believe you are either a fraud or a fool." Lyra hissed. "Either way, you risk consequences beyond your comprehension." "Threats now?" Sarah stood her ground. "Is that the response of a species secure in their technological superiority? You have no concept of the forces you're tampering with." Lyra's composure was slipping, her voice rising. "Quantum resonance at the levels you describe would create ripple effects across space-time. It could destabilize star systems. Only if implemented incorrectly." Sarah corrected. "Our calculations account for harmonic dampening across 11 dimensions. Again, the data..." Your data is meaningless. Lyra interrupted. Human scientific methodology is primitive at best. You're like children playing with antimatter. The chamber had grown completely silent. All eyes fixed on the confrontation unfolding on stage. Sarah was aware that this had moved beyond scientific debate into a historical moment for humanity. Ambassador? She said calmly, your reaction betrays your concern. If our discovery were truly impossible, you would dismiss it with evidence, not insults. The truth is that the Thalca have relied on technological superiority for political dominance. Our breakthrough threatens that dominance, not galactic stability. Lyra's 4 fingers clenched into a fist. You dare to lecture me on galactic politics? Your species hasn't even unified your own planet. The Thalca achieved total planetary harmony before developing interstellar travel. We earned our position through wisdom humans cannot fathom. And yet, here we are. Sarah replied, presenting a solution your species overlooked. Perhaps diversity of thought offers advantages that harmony cannot. It happened in an instant. Lyra's arm moved in a blur, and the sharp crack of her palm against Sarah's cheek echoed through the chamber. The slap was not just a physical blow, but a profound breach of Galactic Council protocol, where physical contact between delegates was strictly forbidden, especially during formal proceedings. Sarah staggered back, her hand rising to her reddening cheek. The audience gasped collectively, and several security drones immediately converged on the stage. The Mu moderator expanded to twice its normal size in agitation, its translucent body pulsing with alarmed bioluminescence. Ambassador Lyra has violated Section 7, Paragraph 3 of the Council Charter, the moderator announced, its voice trembling with the gravity of the situation. Physical assault during official proceedings is grounds for immediate censure. Lyra seemed frozen, apparently as shocked by her actions as everyone else. The proud Thalca ambassador, known for her calculating demeanor, had lost control in front of the entire Galactic Council. Worse, the summit was being broadcast to all member worlds. Billions of beings across thousands of planets had just witnessed a representative of the mighty Thalca strike a human in a fit of anger. Sarah straightened, her eyes never leaving Lyra's face. When she spoke, her voice carried throughout the silent chamber without effort. Let the record show that when presented with human achievement, the Thalca response was not intellectual engagement, but physical violence. If this is the wisdom Ambassador Lyra speaks of, perhaps the galaxy should reconsider who guides its future. With those words, Sarah Bennett transformed what might have been a personal humiliation into a defining moment for humanity. As she walked calmly off the stage, leaving Lyra surrounded by security drones. She knew that everything had changed. The slap had been broadcast across the galaxy, and Earth's response would determine humanity's place among the stars for generations to come. Secretary Rhea's office aboard the Earth delegation's ship buzzed with frantic activity. The highest-ranking human diplomat in the Galactic Council had called an emergency meeting within minutes of the incident. Sarah sat at the conference table, a medical drone hovering near her face, applying a regenerative gel to her cheek. The wound is superficial, Dr. Bennett. The drone chirped. However, Ambassador Lyra's species possesses naturally occurring toxins in their epithelial cells. The gel will neutralize any adverse reactions. Thank you, Sarah murmured, her mind elsewhere. Around the table sat the core of Earth's diplomatic and scientific delegation. Secretary Rhea, stern and focused. Dr. Marcus Reed, still seething with anger, and several military and political advisors, all watching the replay of the incident on floating screens. Turn it off, Secretary Rhea commanded, and the screens went dark. Dr. Bennett, how are you feeling? I'm fine, Sarah replied, more concerned about the implications for our research presentation than a slap. Rhea nodded approvingly. Good. Because what happened today goes far beyond scientific discourse or even personal assault. Ambassador Lyra's actions have created a diplomatic crisis of unprecedented magnitude. And an opportunity, added one of the military advisors. Commander Jameson, the Thalka have unwittingly handed us a powerful lever. Marcus leaned forward. Sarah, you don't understand. Physical assault at a council proceeding isn't just rude. It's interpreted as a declaration of hostile intent under galactic law. By striking you, Lyra effectively declared the Thalka's hostility toward Earth. Sarah blinked, the full implications dawning on her. That seems extreme for a momentary loss of control. The Council's laws were written by species with diverse physiologies and cultural norms. Rhea explained. For some members, physical contact is lethal. For others, it's sacred. The absolute prohibition on uninvited contact was one of the first and most stringent rules established. The Thalka know this better than anyone, Commander Jameson added. They were founding members of the Council. Lyra's actions weren't just a breach of etiquette. They were a catastrophic diplomatic failure. What happens now? Sarah asked. Secretary Rhea's expression was grim but determined. Now, we respond, not just to the assault, but to centuries of Thalka condescension toward humanity. The Council is convening an emergency session in 3 hours to address the incident. Before that happens, we need to decide Earth's official position. The options before us are clear, Commander Jameson stated. We can accept a formal apology and reparations, which would maintain the status quo while giving us some diplomatic capital. Or we can use this moment to fundamentally alter humanity's standing. Rhea finished. Dr. Bennett's research was already going to challenge the Thalka. Now, we have the moral high ground as well. Sarah considered this. What exactly are you proposing? A formal declaration of Earth's technological sovereignty. Rhea said firmly. We demand recognition of our scientific achievements, unrestricted development rights, and a permanent seat on the Council's Technology Oversight Committee, a position the Thalka have blocked us from for decades. The Thalka will never agree to that. Marcus warned, they may not have a choice. Commander Jameson countered, public opinion across the galaxy is already turning against them. Our intelligence suggests several mid-tier powers are reaching out to express solidarity with Earth. Sarah frowned. This is moving beyond science into politics. It always was. Sarah, Rhea said gently, your breakthrough was never just about faster ships. It's about humanity's place in the galactic order. The Thalka didn't just slap you. They slapped our species, our potential. How we respond will define us for generations. After hours of intense debate, a consensus emerged. Earth would not merely accept an apology. They would demand recognition. As the Emergency Council session approached, Sarah found herself preparing not just as a scientist, but as a symbol of human dignity. The Galactic Council reconvened in a chamber crackling with tension. The regular seating arrangement had been modified, creating a clear separation between the Thalka delegation and the rest of the Council. Ambassador Lyra sat alone at her species-designated table, her posture rigid, her silver-blue skin dulled with stress. The Council Arbiter, a member of the ancient Vox species, called the session to order. This emergency gathering addresses the formal incident between Ambassador Lyra of the Thalka and Dr. Sarah Bennett of Earth. Ambassador Lyra has requested the opportunity to address the Council first. Lyra rose, her movements lacking their usual fluid grace. Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, I come before you to express sincere regret for my actions during the scientific summit. My behavior was unbecoming of a Thalka ambassador and violated the sacred trust of Council proceedings. I offer my unconditional apology to Dr. Bennett and to humanity. The words were correct, but Sarah noted the careful phrasing, regret for the action, but no acknowledgement of the underlying attitude that had prompted it. Before the Arbiter could respond, Secretary Rhea stood. Earth requests the right to address the Council regarding this matter. Granted, the Arbiter intoned. Rhea's voice filled the chamber. The people of Earth acknowledge Ambassador Lyra's apology, but find it insufficient. Today's incident revealed a deeper issue that an apology alone cannot resolve. For too long, humanity has been treated as a lesser species within this Council. Our achievements dismissed, our potential underestimated. Murmurs spread through the chamber as delegates exchanged glances. The Thalka representatives shifted uncomfortably. Therefore, Rhea continued. Earth presents the following demands. First, formal recognition of Earth's breakthrough in FTL technology and unrestricted rights to develop it further. Second, a permanent seat on the Technology Oversight Committee. Third, a review of all existing technology sharing agreements that have systematically excluded Earth from advanced knowledge. The chamber erupted in astonished voices. These were unprecedented demands from a species considered a minor power. The Arbiter struggled to restore order as delegates argued amongst themselves. Ambassador Lyra rose again, her voice tight with controlled anger. These demands are grossly disproportionate to a momentary lapse in diplomacy. Earth attempts to leverage an unfortunate incident for political gain. The incident merely exposed the truth of how the Thalka view humanity. Rhea countered. Your momentary lapse revealed centuries of contempt. We demand recognition not because of the slap, but despite it, because our achievements warrant respect you've been unwilling to give. General Terran, the highest-ranking Thalka military official present, stepped forward. His battle-scarred skin and imposing height made even other Thalka seem diminutive by comparison. These demands amount to a direct challenge to Thalka authority in matters of advanced technology. He declared, such a challenge cannot go unanswered. If Earth persists in this course, the Thalka Defense Fleet will consider it a provocation requiring response. The threat hung in the air, silencing even the most vocal delegates. Military threats were rarely made so explicitly in Council proceedings, and never by a power as formidable as the Thalka. Sarah watched as Secretary Rhea conferred quickly with Commander Jameson, who nodded and tapped something into his communication device. Rhea then returned her attention to the Council. The Thalka have chosen to respond to diplomatic requests with military threats, she said calmly. This only reinforces our position that the current power structure is fundamentally flawed. Nevertheless, in the interest of transparency, Earth feels obligated to inform the Council of certain developments. She gestured, and the chamber's holographic display activated, showing a star map of the space surrounding the Council station. Dots of light appeared, hundreds of them, arranged in a formation that military minds instantly recognized as a blockade. What you're seeing is a real-time display of Earth vessels that have taken position around this station and key Thalka territories, Rhea explained. These ships are equipped with the quantum resonance drive Dr. Bennett presented today, technology that makes them effectively invisible to Thalka detection systems until now. General Terran's face contorted with rage and disbelief. Impossible. Our sensors would have detected such a fleet. As Dr. Bennett explained earlier, your sensors rely on outdated principles. Rhea replied, Earth has been developing this technology in secret for decades, precisely because we anticipated this kind of reaction to our advancement. The revelation sent shockwaves through the Council. Earth, long dismissed as a minor power with limited military capability, had somehow deployed a massive fleet without detection. The strategic implications were staggering. This is an act of war, General Taryn bellowed. No. Secretary Rhea corrected firmly. This is a demonstration of capability. Had we wanted war, you would not have known of our presence until it was too late. Instead, we chose transparency. The Arbiter, visibly shaken, called for order. The Council recognizes the gravity of this situation. Both parties will stand down while we deliberate. Earth's vessels will maintain their current positions, but take no aggressive action. Rhea agreed. General Taron conferred hurriedly with his staff before responding grudgingly. The Thalka fleet will likewise maintain position. As the Council members withdrew for emergency deliberations, Sarah found herself face-to-face with Ambassador Lyra in a deserted corridor. The Thalka diplomat's earlier arrogance had evaporated, replaced by something approaching respect or fear. Your deception was impressive, Lyra admitted. The Thalka believed we understood human capabilities. That was your first mistake. Sarah replied, You studied our technology, but never understood our nature. Humans thrive when underestimated. So it seems. Lyra paused. You must understand that what I did was not representative of Thalka policy. It was a personal failure. Was it? Sarah asked. Or was it the natural conclusion of an attitude your species has cultivated for centuries? The slap didn't create this conflict, Ambassador. It merely brought it into the open. Before Lyra could respond, they were summoned back to the chamber. The Council had reached a preliminary decision with remarkable speed, a testament to how seriously they viewed the situation. The Arbiter addressed the Assembly. After consultation with all major powers, the Council proposes the following resolution. First, Earth's technological achievements will be formally recognized, with a verification committee established to document the quantum resonance drive's capabilities. Second, Earth will be granted a provisional seat on the Technology Oversight Committee, with permanent status contingent on the verification process. Third, all technology sharing agreements will be reviewed by an independent panel to ensure equitable access for all Council members. It was a stunning victory for humanity, granting nearly everything Earth had demanded. The Arbiter continued. In exchange, Earth will provide a full accounting of its military capabilities and agree to Council-monitored limitations on deployment of the new technology for military purposes. Secretary Rhea rose. Earth accepts these terms, with the condition that the same limitations apply equally to all species, including the Thalka. All eyes turned to the Thalka delegation. General Taron appeared ready to object, but Ambassador Lyra placed a restraining hand on his arm. She stood slowly. The Thalka, she began, then paused, visibly struggling with the words. The Thalka accept the Council's resolution. We further offer formal reparations to Earth for the diplomatic breach and commit to a new era of cooperation. The chamber filled with relieved murmurs. What had threatened to escalate into interspecies conflict had been resolved through diplomacy, backed by the revelation of Earth's hidden strength. As the formal proceedings concluded, Sarah found herself surrounded by delegates from dozens of species, many expressing newfound interest in collaboration with Earth scientists, the power dynamics of the galaxy, had shifted in a matter of hours. Dr. Bennett. Secretary Rhea approached with a satisfied smile. Your research presentation was scheduled to last 30 minutes. Instead, it has reshaped galactic politics. Sarah shook her head, still processing the magnitude of what had transpired. I never intended this. I just wanted recognition for our work. And you've achieved that and more. Rhea replied. The quantum resonance drive would have eventually forced a reckoning with the Thalka. Ambassador Lyra's actions merely accelerated the inevitable. What happens now? Sarah asked. Now comes the hard part. Rhea said, living up to our newfound status, Earth will face scrutiny like never before. Every claim we make, every advancement we announce will be questioned and tested. We've earned our seat at the table. Now we must prove we deserve it. Dr. Marcus Reed joined them, his earlier anger replaced by cautious optimism. The verification committee is already being formed. They'll want to examine our prototypes, review our data. They'll find everything in order. Sarah assured him, our breakthrough is real. It's more than real. Marcus said, it's revolutionary, but I worry about the military applications. Our fleet deployment was a calculated risk that paid off, but it's raised concerns about human intentions. Then we'll need to demonstrate that our ambitions extend beyond military power. Sarah decided. The quantum resonance technology has applications in medicine, in environmental restoration, in dozens of fields beyond transportation. That's why you're being appointed Earth Scientific Liaison to the Council. Secretary Rhea announced, your vision needs to guide our next steps. Sarah was stunned. I'm a researcher, not a diplomat. Today proved those roles are inseparable. Rhea countered. Besides, you've already achieved what generations of human diplomats couldn't. You made the galaxy take us seriously. Over the following weeks, the new galactic reality took shape. The verification committee confirmed the principles of quantum resonance drive. Though the Thalka insisted on calling it harmonic waveform propulsion in official documents, a small concession to their pride. Earth's seat on the Technology Oversight Committee was formalized, with Sarah as its first occupant. The Thalka, for their part, adapted to their diminished status with surprising grace. Ambassador Lyra, rather than being recalled in disgrace as many had expected, was tasked with establishing a joint research initiative with Earth. Her slap, which might have ended her career, instead forced her to engage with humans as equals, a form of poetic justice that wasn't lost on Sarah. 6 months after the incident, Sarah stood on the observation deck of the newly established Harmonic Institute, a massive research facility orbiting Earth's moon. Below her, representatives from 27 species mingled, sharing knowledge that had been closely guarded for centuries. The technology sharing agreements, revised under Council supervision, had created an unprecedented era of scientific cooperation. Ambassador Lyra approached, her movements once again fluid and confident, though tempered with a new humility. Dr. Bennett, she greeted. The cetacean delegation has made remarkable progress adapting quantum resonance for underwater applications. You were right about its medical potential. The Thalka contributions to stabilizing the harmonic field have been equally impressive. Sarah acknowledged. Your engineers solved problems my team struggled with for years. Lyra was quiet for a moment, gazing out at Earth shining blue and green in the blackness of space. I've been meaning to ask you something, she finally said. That day, when the incident occurred, did you know what would happen? Was it all planned? Sarah considered the question carefully. The research was real. The breakthrough was genuine. But did we anticipate resistance? Of course. Did we prepare contingencies? Absolutely. She turned to face the ambassador directly. What we didn't anticipate was that you would make our case for us so emphatically. A flicker of the old pride crossed Lyra's features, but it quickly faded into something like respect. In Thalka culture, there is a concept called kreva, the worthy adversary who becomes an ally. It is considered the most valuable relationship one can cultivate. On Earth, we might call that friendship. Sarah suggested, perhaps, in time. Lyra conceded, for now, let us be worthy adversaries who build something greater than either could achieve alone. As they turned back to the gathering below, Sarah reflected on the strange journey that had brought them here. A moment of anger, a physical strike that had revealed the true balance of power in the galaxy. The slap had been heard across the stars, but its echo had created something unexpected. A future where humanity stood as equals among the cosmos's oldest civilizations, not through conquest or subjugation, but through innovation and resolve. Earth had declared its presence in the galactic community, not with weapons, but with ideas, though the hidden fleet had certainly helped make the point. Secretary Rhea joined them, nodding respectfully to Ambassador Lyra before addressing Sarah. The Council has approved the expansion of the Harmonic Network to include the Andromeda colonies. Your drive system will connect the two galaxies within a decade. Our drive system, Sarah corrected, gesturing to include Lyra. The refinements developed here have made it a truly collaborative achievement. As the three women gazed out at the stars, human, Thalka, and the countless other species now working together, the future stretched before them, vast and bright with possibility. The galaxy had been transformed not by the clash of fleets, but by a single slap and the courage to demand respect. Sometimes, Sarah reflected, the greatest revolutions begin with the smallest actions. A hand raised in anger had ultimately raised humanity to the stars, not as conquerors, but as innovators worthy of their place in the cosmic community. In the quiet of the observation deck, with the Earth turning slowly below and the representatives of a united galaxy collaborating beneath them, Ambassador Lyra finally offered what Sarah had never expected to receive: a formal Thalka bow of equality, a gesture reserved for those considered true peers. Sarah returned the bow with the dignity of a species that had found its rightful place among the stars. The war that never was had ended. The peace that no one had imagined had begun.